Okay, so with our back and our front panels complete, we're now ready to add our zip. So you want to take your zip and you need to cut an angle in at one end, open the zip out and cut an angle in. Now, with all of the kits, I've given you this ring-shaped zip puller. With the stripe kit, these colour zips also came with an ivory colour zip pull, so it's up to you which one you use. You've got both in your kit to choose from. I would like to use this one because I like how it looks, but if you want to use the matching one, then you can. So just thread it on, and then you can hold on to these and pull it, and then open that out to the other end. So be careful once you've got that zip puller on that you're not going to shoot off the end. But that zip is now ready to insert. So take your front panel and lie that down in front of you, looking at the right side, and then take your zip and place that on top. The zip will be actually longer than the length here, so that's fine. We trim it down afterwards. Then take your front lining panel, the one with the little patch pocket, and just place that on top. It should line up perfectly with your bag outer and your lining fabric. Obviously the base extends below, that's meant to happen, but at the top it should line up. So we want to just line that zip up at the top there, and it has got to travel around a bit of a curve, this zip. If you have the zip puller extending beyond, it means you don't have to worry about it getting in the way, and we can sort that out in a minute. So just line up those pieces, and then we'll put some clips across this top edge here. Put my zip foot back on again, and I'll line up the tongue of my zip foot with the edge of my fabric, and then I'm going to sew through all layers so the zip is sandwiched in between. If you find it difficult to do all these layers all at once, then you can absolutely sew the zip to the bag fabric in one go, and then come back and go back over again and sew and do a second line of stitching, sewing the lining on. So you don't have to do them all in one go if you'd really rather do it in two sections, two stages. So I just want to make sure that my zip tape is remaining at the edge there. Because you've got the fluffiness of the fleece, sometimes it can be more difficult to feel where your zip is, so just take your time. And each time I'm taking a clip out, I'm just looking in between and making sure that everything's lining up. That's now sewn in. If we turn this round the other way, so we're looking at the right sides, we should see that the zip is caught in here and that the lining and the outer bag fabric match up. So just line those up and just pop a couple of clips just to keep everything together in place. And then what I'll do is I'll just give this edge a little press. With everything lined up and pressed, now we'll do a top stitch through all layers at the side of the zip. So I've put my white thread back in just because I feel like it will look better. And I'll line up the edge of my foot there with the edge of my seam. And then stitching through all layers. So there's my top stitch there. Now we're going to attach the other side of the zip to the other side of the bag. So take your back panel, move everything out of the way. So we're looking at this area here that we're going to apply the other zip to. So I've just folded everything down, and then take your bag front and place that on top, and then we're going to match these up here. So it's helpful to start by matching up the center front. So if we just take the front panel and fold it in half, bringing these two together, fold that all the way down there, and then you can just make a little chalk mark on the zip tape there, so we know that's the centre front, because the notches are kind of become hidden now. So that's where we're going to match the centre fronts up to. So start by matching at the centre front, put a clip there, and then walk that round to the edge. You'd find that it all matches up. So we'll just clip this all the way along, and this one I am going to do in 2 stages. I just think that it's easier to manage because we've got quite a lot of bulkiness with the fleece. We've got quite a lot of layers to think about. So let's make it easier to manage. So we'll do it in 2 stages. Okay, so we're just going to sew that zip in place. Then what we'll do is we'll put the lining, the back lining rather, that's got the little doodah on it, the keyring, and then we'll add that to the top and stitch that on afterwards. But let's do this in 2 separate stages. So as you can see, we've got right sides together, and the other side of the zip is lined up with the top edge there. So I'll do the same as I did on the other side and line up the edge of my foot with the edge of the zip. Back stitch to begin with, and off I go. You have got a slight curve to manage here on your zip. Take it easy, 1 step at a time. Leave yourself plenty of room around your machine for all your fabric as well. There we go. So that's all stitched in place, and now finally we can add the other lining panel. So match up those centre front notches, and then same again. So we're going to stitch through all those layers now, and you can see that the lining sides are right sides together, and these sides are right sides together, the back sides, and the zip is sandwiched in between. And once again, just take it 1 stage at a time, adding your lining panel. So the lining is now also sewn to the zip. We can flip this to right sides out. And then just like with the front, you should find that the lining and the bag fabric match up around these angles here. So you can just give it a press and then we'll just clip that to hold it so that they're lined up. And then we can do our top stitch, just like the top stitch we did on this side, we'll do one on this side as well. Now when you're lining it up, just be aware that the lining will hang down a bit from the bottom. That's because the leatherette base will fold up to meet the back fabric rather. So we're going to do our stitch along here now. So whatever reference point you used on this side, just do the same on the other side, just so that the top stitching looks the same on top and bottom. And then top stitch through all layers. Just make sure that you're not catching anything under there, because you've obviously got all your bits and pieces like your webbing and what have you attached to that side of the bag.